And hello, everyone. Welcome to our show tonight. And I have to say, we have a crowd here tonight.
Already on fire.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So, welcome everybody, and hello to Anime Fanboy who popped in before we started.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
He is on time.
He is
Yeah.
so
I like it. That's great.
We're actually about a minute late. Sorry.
Okay.
You have failed, Greg. What is it? The green arrow says you have failed this city, but instead of this, you have failed this show, Greg. You have failed this show.
Can you feel the pressure?
No, not at all.
No.
This
Hey,
is
I love your
really-
intro, by the way. That just got me. I was going to pick up the guitar and start.
Yeah,
shredding.
we're
Yeah.
Damn.
Telling you, I like that.
I have to give credit where credit is due. Amy picked that intro.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah,
Nice.
I know. My degree's paying off, man. My psychology degree is really paying off.
That's
It's
true. That's awesome.
it's helping a lot for sure.
I don't give her much credit, but I have to give her credit there.
He doesn't. I actually get 0 credit from Greg, to be fair, but it's okay. I know deep down he understands deep down.
He's getting himself in trouble here.
He's digging a hole. He's
Yeah,
digging a hole.
All I have to do is say one word to her, and I'm gone.
Oh, I can see you two could go. We've got a combination here, folks.
It could be fun.
I love it. You can commentate our fight any day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I
Let him
love
take me coming up with another 2-point special.
it. Yeah. Love it.
Oh Lord, we're gonna have one hell of a night tonight.
Could get interesting.
Interesting.
I love it.
But I'd like to welcome Saffron Henderson, Brian Dobson, and Carl Willems.
Hello.
Pronounce that correctly.
Yeah.
And I have to say, y'all combined is just like I did the intro earlier. It's basically an OG DBZ type of night.
Yeah.
Big time,
Say
yeah.
that. You could say that.
You could. And you just
So-
did.
Yeah, I just did.
This is going swimmingly.
Oh, I like you. I like you. Can we be friends? I like you a lot. Yeah,
That's good.
you're my kind of people. Ooh, yeah. I didn't have to say it.
She already wants to know what it's going to take to get you to Tri-City Comic Con.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds exciting. So when is it?
Yeah, give us some more
what's
dates.
your dates?
Our dates are for our first show is going to be November 4th and 5th of next year.
That's very
Fantastic.
exciting. Congratulations.
Thank
Wow.
Just enough time to prepare.
you.
Yeah.
Well, we still have a little bit to do, but I think we're pretty much almost set for this year already.
I mean, it's kind of an epic achievement pulling off any con, really.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
True.
yeah, we've seen what you get up to, CJ.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
impressive. It's there's just so much going on a constant. You never know what you're going to get. So
No. It's and it just I keep moving and I have fun. I love Comic Cons and I'm really looking forward to Tri-City.
Mhm.
Great. Hi.
as are we.
Yes. And I have to say, I think, Carl, I don't know where you're from, but all
Vancouver.
two are okay, because I know Saffron and Brian, y'all are in Vancouver, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we all met.
Mm-hmm.
On
Yeah,
the
hanging
DBZ.
out on the West Coast.
Yep. Doing the DBZ.
Doing the DBZ.
There's
So-
actually an area too, though.
So I have to ask, what was it like when y'all first got cast for DBZ? Was it exciting for y'all? Was it?
You go first,
Well,
Brian.
Well, I'm gonna go first. Okay, so it was. I had such a. I didn't know what to really expect with any of it. I knew I was going out for the show. I didn't really have any pre-knowledge of what I was going out for, and all of a sudden, these really imaginative, creative, fantastic characters started coming out, and we had to kind of play in the garden to find voices along with they would play us the original Japanese, and we'd find a place to go from there. So it was there was a fair bit of creative license with finding a voice print, and I don't think any of us really realized how far and how big this was going to go.
No.
No,
It's not a
Making
huge
too much anime.
franchise in the in North America. It wasn't a big franchise, so it's really cool that, like, for us, it was a gig, which is always massive when you're an actor. So doesn't matter, how popular or unpopular the show is. If you have lots of episodes and you have lots of time on the mic, it's very exciting because it's energizing work, right? So, and I mean, Carl, you watched this all unfold. Like, was it a big deal to you when you started working on it?
I think same experience as you. Well, I mean, you were on it before I was, because if I'm not mistaken, it was Dragon Ball started recording elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then it came to our studio.
Correct.
And I don't even think I directed the first few episodes. I think I came in on it pretty quickly and then took it over, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
That was kind of the challenge I found with Dragon Ball.
That's a long
was
time ago.
working with the different directors and some of the different.
Yeah.
I
think I did most of them, and certainly everything from a certain point on. Because Barry was up for that, and
Barry Watson
and all that. Yeah.
And wasn't Toshi on it at one point?
He was in the sessions, I recall, and he was
he wasn't involved with the production, but I think
producer.
I think he was in one of the side movies. Was that the case?
Oh, maybe it was a movie. Yeah. I remember
that's
him
the thing.
being in the studio with us. Yeah.
Yeah, there was the series, the Dragon Ball Z, that the series that just kept going and going, fights that just kept going and going.
Incredible.
But I think there was a couple of standalone movies.
Yes.
There
were a few
that were a little. I mean, the same characters, obviously, but a little different, a little less censored, maybe.
Maybe.
You mean they didn't put the stool in front of Gohan? No, it's Goku. Young Goku.
Yeah. Well, that, and I think the violence was sort of toned down.
Right. More spectacular.
I remember. To some degree.
Here's a question. What is the hardest part about voice acting?
Oh boy.
Oh,
well, especially with this show in particular, is that there's a certain longevity you've got to get through of screaming and as I've always called the vocal frappuccino that is Dragon Ball Z. It is knowing how to save something in the tank to get through sessions. And in the day, I remember our record blocks were far longer than they are.
Oh yeah,
today, right?
8 hours. 8 hours.
I can tell you with experience that it was actually because of that show that didn't happen anymore. And because these poor actors would come and they'd have just pages of screaming. And there's actually more to say about that. I'll get to that after. But they'd come in and they'd just be shredded.
And then I would go sing in a lounge later that night.
Yeah, I know a couple of the actors talk about tasting blood after. I think your brother, Brian.
Me too.
Yeah.
Majin Buu, he tore me to pieces it got to the point where you had to book it on a Friday because I needed 2 days of healing after a 6-hour record. So it was fighting.
And that is how I hope this is a true statement, but I because of that show in particular, I think I really went out of my way to, if I knew there's a big screaming thing coming up, okay, you'll watch it a bunch of times.
Yes.
Let's do a practice, but not at volume, and let's try to save the pipes, right?
Mm-hmm. How did you combat that with a lot of the high yelling and stuff for saving your vocal cords?
There are elixirs.
I like that. Man, you sound like the biggest bitch ever. I had laryngitis for a 12-day summit, and it was so hard to talk. And then you guys are over here tasting blood, and I'm just like, oh wow,
Literally,
now I feel like the biggest bitch right now on this show. Just oh my gosh, I couldn't take that.
You guys use Buckley's mixture? Do you guys use Buckley's?
We still love you.
Laryngitis. You can't.
That was so great. You didn't deny it. You're just we still love you, even though you didn't face blood. No, I'm here for it. I love it. I would have said the same thing. That's why I'm like, man, y'all are my people. Like, y'all are my people.
Yeah.
I want to know what the elixir is. The hell
And it actually, I found the elixir after I finished the series, but
oh, I know which one you're talking about.
you do, don't you? You know what I'm gonna say? There's a stuff called Ninjom, Ninjiom. It's like thick molasses stuff.
Ooh.
It's like opera singers and stuff use it for healing and whatnot too. And it's actually one of the first things that I've been able to take while I'm in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It's getting a little hot there. I can actually just turn around and have a tablespoon of that, and it'll get me through the session.
It's a Chinese herbal thing, right?
There's slippery elm tablets.
Does it taste good, or is it one of those you're just like, oh God, this has to go down? You know, is it one of those?
Yeah, well, for me, it's oh God, it's got to get down.
Depends. Nimjum, I remember when I started taking it, not as a voice actor, but just because it was horrible. And then after a while, I learned to love it.
Sweet.
I actually,
Yeah.
love it.
Sweet.
I actually really like it.
It's like molasses and sweet.
But sweet and sort of herbal, like a very strong herbal thing.
Yeah.
It's got lots of herbs.
But
I've
you
never
guys
tried it,
keep
but
saying-
it would go well with vodka.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
I used to have a
was
bottle of
missing out.
Buckley's mixture. Nobody's like, do you guys know Buckley's?
No.
don't?
I know Bailey's.
you've
Well,
never
I
had
think
the displeasure of
it's
Buckley's? It's like putting a shotgun down your throat. It's
The
horrible.
commercial is tastes horrible, but it works. Like
It's so true.
widely known to be the worst tasting. And I would have a bottle, and I would just seriously drink out of the bottle of Buckley's mixture.
It's like, could you imagine drinking ammonia? It's,
That's not
it's very fumy as you put that tablespoon to your mouth, and you're kind of like, this is going to be hell. And
Yeah.
it is.
It's hell.
Is it kind of like taking a shot of NyQuil, or
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
It's not sweet. It's just completely.
No, it's just
like
rude. Yeah.
ethyl.
Okay.
I don't know.
It used to save my voice a bit. Also,
Yeah.
because when Barry Watson was there, Carl, you'll attest to that. When Barry Watson was there, he wanted all the bells to be longer.
Oh yeah.
Can we go bigger?
Oh yeah. He was always yeah.
Yeah, we were like, I think they're using a voice effect where they stretch it. I think there's an echo, and Barry's like, nope, the whole time.
Yeah.
And so Carl would be like buffering us from Barry's
The mediator. Yeah.
yeah. He was very good natured, but he really
Barry's
wanted-
awesome. Yeah. Love
he's
Barry.
good.
Great guy. Really great guy.
so Love's had a really good question. That Greg just put up there.
Out of all the characters you all played, what is
Yeah.
the one that you related to the most and you could place yourself in?
Ooh.
Love's Darkness. That's a good one.
Melissa. Okay, you guys start first. No, okay, Seth. No pressure. And go.
Yeah.
Should we start doing the Jeopardy song? Do, do, do.
It's weird because there's like a
That
piece
puts the
of
pressure.
yourself in
Okay, hold on.
every
The question disappeared. No, I was going to reread it again to make sure I got it right.
Well,
But
Well,
which
of all
one
the
was
characters
most
you played.
related?
Yeah.
There we go.
well, what one is the related? Okay.
So I was
Yeah,
just saying,
yeah.
I think that there's like a piece of us in every character, right? So that's really
Yeah.
hard. I don't want to offend any of them.
But which one is the most?
Well, okay, so maybe
Yeah.
Kind of
for me, the young Goku for sure, the super innocent Goku that was
Mhm.
kind of socially clumsy and learning the world, I related to so much at the time.
Mhm.
And then when I played Oxnard, I really related to Oxnard the hamster
Yeah.
because he was a klutz. And I loved that part about him. I liked that about him. Yeah.
That was a
They're
great
great characters. What about you, Brian?
Maybe a combination of a couple of characters. I remember and this steps out of the world of anime. I do apologize, but when I was on He-Man, Buzz-Off, the clean and crisp Buzz-Off, and yet Skeletor, because of
Skeleton?
I got to be careful how I say this now.
Evil guy, so go for it. You're saying you're a little.
I can be a little I don't want to say conniving or that, but I can understand the frustrations and the way Skeletor saw the world. I can sometimes see the way the world is lighting up now these days, and very much relate in his, very similar way between what he was dealing with in Eternia and here I am on Earth. So yeah, I could get a little bit of a.
You know what, Saffron? I have to say, as a observer, as a director, not an actor.
Mm-hmm.
What I remember, sticks in my mind with you was, and I forget his name now because it's been like 20 years. The boy in Maison Ikoku. Was it Kentaro?
Kentaro.
Kentaro. It was Kentaro. Yeah.
He was a little piglet. He was always noodles. He was always like, yeah, that was.
Yeah. Well, you not champion, but you did the little eating song. It was awesome. It's great.
I remember that little song. It's very funny. Yeah. It had kind of
So anime
That's a while ago.
640 wants to know who your guys' favorite anime character is.
Oh,
we should stick to the guns here. Yes, absolutely. Anime.
Yeah.
Favorite. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've as much as he killed me, Kid Buu and Majin Buu were definitely some of my favorite.
So good.
Just so maniacal and all over the place and unpredictable.
You seem to like the bent characters, Brian.
No, there's an odd typecasting going on there, but there is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I love those.
What about you, sister?
And I guess this isn't even that necessarily that you played, just in general, right?
Just in general.
Yeah.
I
mean, I looked at all the shows that I've been on. Like occasionally, I'll get to play a girl part, but very often, no. Very often, it's a little boy or a little hamster, and sometimes a girl with a lot of character. Sometimes, but I always admired those heroines, like in Inuyasha, like Kagome, and which to me were just everything that a girly girl should be that I never was. That's never, I've never been somebody delicate or particularly. Yeah, I just love all those female characters, though. I would love to be them, but I just admired them.
Gotcha. Carl, what about you?
You know what? I was thinking about it, and it's so hard to say. But and this is going to be a weird answer, maybe. I'm going to go with probably the first anime I ever saw. I was probably, I don't know how old I was, like maybe 6. I remember seeing something on TV. Maybe somebody knows the show. It was called Sword of the Sun, and I remember just being like, "Whoa!" It was great. It was like a young protagonist, the young sort of wide-eyed kid in the world. And it was, it's sort of very classic anime, but it's just such an archetype that's shown up in a lot of shows. But I think because that was like the one I saw as a kid first, I think, and I can't even remember his name. So if anybody knows, please tell me.
Sword of the Sun.
You got me thinking now.
I remember it was Sword of the Sun, and that may have been the name they gave the English version because I looked for it at one point, and I had a hard time finding it. Other than that, I like is it Lupin the Third in the Castle of the Cagliostro?
Impressive.
I think that's really early Miyazaki one. You guys, that one? Just because he's such a wise ass. Really good. It was really, and the dub was really well done, considering it was done at a time when there probably wasn't digital recording. They did a great job. Really good fit, good performances.
When we used to shout at the tape. Yes.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to match up with? Because are you guys like watching the screen at the time that you're doing the recording, and is it difficult to match up? What you're saying with the character itself as it's playing in front of you.
I'd say so. I mean, after a while, you get really good at it after you've done hundreds of episodes of this stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember my first time. It was actually, I think it was Gundam Wing. I had booked a large role, and they had me in to do that performance. And I was, I think, my second anime I'd ever done, and I was unable to handle the ADR workload and lost the role.
Oh no.
It's tough.
What?
It's tough.
Brian Dobson.
And now I could, I usually
Yeah,
could come out a good hour or so under my sessions. Like so it's it takes a while to get comfortable with ADR.
It
Oh,
does.
That
Yeah.
everything is, as they say, tweaked in a certain way. So you learn a
Yeah.
cadence with ADR that anime is usually tweaked in as the scripts are written. And once you get that kind of curve figured out, it's a lot easier.
It's a real skill set. I can just tell you by watching a lot of different people. Some of them are fantastic, but dubbing, being an actor is one thing. That's a huge thing in itself. But being able to deal with the matching flaps part of it is a whole other thing. And some people are really good at it. These two people here, and some people have a harder time with it. But the ones who are really good at it make it look easy. So when you see them doing their job, everybody thinks, "Hell, I could do that." I could do that. But then when you're actually in the hot seat, no, not everybody can do it.
Yeah. I remember the pee my pants stage, but now I go in and it's just a riot. And I think you really notice that transition of having fun. And I really enjoy doing it now.
Well, actually, Brian, I have to say, I have the pleasure of having, I think, observed your sort of arc of your career.
You have.
When I started working in this many in the mid '90s, many years ago, your elder brother was already in it. Paul had just started.
That's right.
And then you showed up a couple of years later.
Yeah.
And I remember you had a lot of big shoes to fill because your brothers were such big figures.
Yes.
And then I remember you came in and it's like, the younger Dobson, bless. But I remember there was a certain point when all of a sudden you were like, oh shit, you might be they better watch their back.
Coming of age.
Watch out.
It's true. It's true. I remember when you were their little brother, and you have carved out an awesome career. It's fantastic.
You guys rock. Thank you.
True. And I think that what you're saying about that skill set, Carl, is so true because my sister auditioned when I had to leave I think it was to marry my husband in the United States and wait out the paperwork or something like that. And I had to not be Gohan anymore. I think we were doing one of the Dragon Ball Kai. I don't know. And it's when Jillian took over. And my sister auditioned. And she came out of there going, oh my fucking God. How does your brain want to do that? And I was like, oh my God, my brain craves this. There is a workout that we get when we're doing ADR that is different than any other kind of voiceover.
Well said.
And prelay. And it's like, it literally, like, I love it. I love that challenge. And sometimes I'm better at it than others. Everybody has their good days and their bad days. But
so true.
The quickness of your mind to mouth and looking at the script and the screen and feeling the character, because you get to know the character and you have this, like, this is how this guy would react to this. This is how he'd react to that. And they become spontaneous reactions within you. And it's so fun. And
like you connect with the character, you connect with the script, and you connect with
Exactly.
Well, I think really a huge part of it is dealing with the mechanics of matching and being able to change your read, but not have, like, change the fit and not let that wreck the read. And that can happen to a lot of really, really talented actors, where if they have to manipulate the fit, the read kind of goes out the window. I think they're really good dubbing people learn how to do that, and it becomes second nature. Like, they don't even think about it. And I think you two can probably attest to that you don't really think about the mechanics. It just becomes what you do.
I think if you think of the mechanics is where, exactly, you nailed it. The acting goes out the back door because there's too much, there's got to be that somewhat of an organic process to become, who you're trying to portray there. And if you're thinking about stuff outside of that box, you're taking away from the performance.
It's a bit of pressure because it's just you. You're the only one, and we're all waiting for you to get this. We're all waiting for you to fit that. We're just going to keep doing it until we get it, kind of thing. And that's where the director is huge. So I was spoiled by Carl, because Carl will let you do an outtake. Like, he'll let you do an outtake to just sort of release crack off and get back in the zone.
Yeah.
When
Not
things
to
are
mention, Carl is the master of creating a comfort zone.
Yeah, the comfort zone is incredible. When I was in LA for a few years and I worked with other directors, I was like, oh, they're not that nice.
Isn't it crazy though? Like with a director, you'd figure that you're in this position to get your actor in the most comfortable position they can be to lift that performance. And I have worked with other directors where it's exactly the opposite, and you just start wondering to yourself, "It's like, why are you here?"
Well, I think
stifling this. This is getting stifled because of your.
Well, it's been a lot of years, and I've had sort of a lot of time to think about it. Like I'm sort of, and maybe it's a theory in progress, but I think the reason I kind of go at it the way I do, I think you can obviously just work something to death, and I've seen it done, other people, and get something that's good. I mean, if you're a professional actor, you're going to rise above it and deal with whatever, even if it's 40 takes in, there'll be a decent read. But I think if you can give an actor the freedom to bring something to the table that hasn't been hammered out of them, if they can sort of bring that little bit of sparkle, I think you're going to get something better than just what's good. You're going to get that little extra. You're going to let the actors bring more character, more sparkle to the character, and make it more interesting. And I really think that's true. So, and something else that's a big part of the equation, which hasn't been mentioned yet, is the writing. Sometimes the writing, how well the writing has been written to fit, matters a huge amount. And if you're fighting the writing in the session, that can be brutal, as we all know. So I think you got to be, if you have a well-written script, that helps a lot. And if you're able to sort of just rewrite on the fly, not change the meaning of the line, but just tweak it or create a pause where maybe there needs to be a pause and not have it sound artificial. That's the hard part with dubbing, is being able to tweak it and not sound artificial.
Oh, wow. So I'm kind of curious. Can I ask about that?
Yeah.
How hard is it to dub something from the Japanese version to English version, like Master Roshi and his dirty mind and pervertedness? Because there was a lot of naughty stuff in the Japanese version. So how do you fix that to the English version?
I mean, I wasn't a writer on that, but I think that's sort of what they have to decide if they need to tone something down, or what the market is. First of all, is it for TV? Do we need to watch and be careful so we don't get that we're going to screw up the rating, or is it just going to be out on DVDs or VHS back in the day? What do we have to do? What's our market? And I think that's the deciding factor. And there's certain things like that. There's a few. Master Roshi, who is the character in Inuyasha, the little Myoga? Is it Myoga?
Myoga?
Your brother played the little.
Yes.
The little flea.
Yeah. Also a pervert.
Totally. Panty stealer? Was that the panty stealer?
Yeah. Was that Haposai?
Haposai, sorry.
Yeah.
Pervert's big stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Reminded me imagining this perverted flea.
Yeah. Paul was good at it.
He really did.
I think he enjoyed it a little too much.
Oh, damn.
I heard about those sessions.
Oh, yeah.
So, Love's Darkness wants to know, do you prefer playing a hero or a villain? Because both are strong type characters, but obviously there's a difference. Which one do you guys prefer playing?
Villain.
I know.
Amy say.
I'm totally here for that. I felt like if I ever did voiceovers, was a voice actress, I would want to be the villain. Like, I don't know.
You fit that role good.
I know, right? It's so great. It's so great.
Just kind of.
I don't know. To me, like, if I ever were to do that, now this is me personally, so please don't take offense to this. I feel like if I was going to be like a hero, and wanted to do like a damsel in distress, I'd just be like, oh no, I don't know. And I'd just be like, no, like I want to be like, I'm going to like murder you or something. It would make me so happy to just see that and get that aggression out and be like, yes, you're just going to die.
Exactly.
I think you're a bit like me, though. I think you'd like to be the comic relief, which is neither hero nor villain. But
yeah.
where I live, I do love it.
And that's usually people's favorites, right? Like, who doesn't love the goofy, the Happosai or the
over the top stuff. It's great.
But some of the villains in anime are actually hilarious. So they're pretty awesome. So being a villain would be, I don't get to do that much, but when I do, it's pretty satisfying. Yeah. Or inappropriate, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another question from Anime Fanboy 640 for Saffron. What got you acting on camera, and what was so hard about it?
Oh, what got me acting on camera is we needed money.
It's a good one.
Dance classes. Yeah, for dance classes, because we took a lot of dance as kids. So my mom just figured out how to be a photographer, got a couple lights, took headshots, and hoped to pimp us out to an agent for commercials and stuff. And it worked. Like, I got to do, some commercials, and then it led to more on camera work. And that was really fun work. But here's the thing that's really hard about it for me is, as attention seeking as I might be, I think I like being heard more than seen. I don't like being stared at. I don't like being assessed visually. It really disturbs me. I like being but I'm on stage, I'm on film, I do all that stuff, but I really love the studio and having headphones on and being in this dark space where we're just having fun vocally. So
kind of like
I mean, anime fanboy, I have to tell you, I was in some roles that were raped, killed, give birth to a larva, wind up pregnant, out of wedlock, scandalously. What else? Just like the worst stuff always happened to. It's not funny.
Oh, I know. It's just like,
so I just
didn't you get
being
chainsawed or something? Yeah.
I'm still stuck on you giving birth to the alien thing.
Yeah, like it was just super shitty. But yeah, I got it with a guitar. I got killed with a guitar.
That's the one. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And then I do this scene with I know what anime fanboy is talking about. Because I told him this scene is why I left film and television. I had a scene with Kevin Spacey, people.
Oh, no.
In a series called Unsub, in which I was supposed to be a college student with like a tight, light pink button-down sweater. And I had to lean over his desk and say, I could stay after school and maybe you could help me. Stuff like that kind of thing. Like just stupid bimbo stuff. And I go to do the scene. First of all, he is creepy. He's creeping me out the whole time. I'm creeped out. But he's not just creepy. He's like hateful creepy. Like he's in a weird space. And I'm like, maybe it's his character. Not going to ask. Don't need to talk to this guy. And so we go to shoot the scene and they're setting up the shot. And the director goes, tell her to take her bra off.
Oh, God.
No. And I'm sitting there in my little fake school desk. I'm like, I don't know, 20 years old or something. I don't know, 19 or 20, probably 20. And I go, it's a light pink sweater. So I get up, the wardrobe lady goes, come here. And we go in the bathroom. So, and then we go and I sit back down in my chair and I'm like, this is going to be just a delight to shoot. And then the director yells, this is from like the back, way in the back. Tell her to put Band-Aids on her nipples. And then so this is how it goes. And then eventually she takes me in there. We do that. And eventually she takes me in there to take those off and we shoot the scene. And I'm like,
don't
ever.
Oh my gosh.
And even like being raped on a pool table and then having the director come up to you when all your clothes are all ripped and go, hey, so good job. You want to go for a drink? And I'm like, this is not my world. I was so happy in the studio. People are so respectful. People are so open and non-judgmental.
And you almost never have to put Band-Aids on your nipples in the studio.
Yeah. No, I mean, girl, you never.
That just sounds painful. Like that just sounds painful. Like
it was all stupid. It was all stupid. It was all so stupid. It was so unnecessary.
Yeah. No, I can relate to you because I'm like that. Like I'm not on camera a lot. Let's be fair, but I'm on webcams. Okay, on all my like everything that I do. Where I've gotten to the point where I'm more comfortable doing this and talking to like in front of people. But it's more like I'd rather just you hear me than see me because I don't want to do my makeup and stuff. Like let's be fair, I'm on it. I'm straight up. I don't want to do my makeup. I don't want to do this. Like this takes work. I just want to roll out of bed.
It's working. You look great.
So I can relate, and I am so sorry. Oh, those things happen to you. Those are awful experiences.
Those are just it's death of 1,000 cuts when it comes to being, it's the late 80s, early 90s, and you're a woman in Vancouver in film. That's just the way it works.
Yeah. I feel that I would like voice acting better because I just don't like people, and I would feel that the actual in-person type stuff, there's just too many people walking around.
I know. But the studio is a safe space. If you have good people, which we usually do, it's a safe place.
Yeah. Well, the thing too, I think remember with the studio too, is if you're on a film set, you do a shot and then you break for however long, then you do another shot and then you wait. Whereas in the studio, the creative stuff happens, it's way more condensed, so it happens quickly. So even if you're dubbing, you're in between lines, it may be just a few seconds. It's okay, next line, go, and you can keep that thing going. And I think the actors can feed off; they can get that creative thing going. And it's a bit more rewarding in that respect. Am I right? That's I think what I tend to say.
I work as a dialect coach on set, and with that, the times where we get our first 3 main shots down, and then they do a full turnaround. I mean, these actors are waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's you've got to be able to go from cold to hot in 1 second, on the roll. So it's 2 different monsters. Yeah.
And so much is out of your hands on a film set. The lighting, the wardrobe, the hair, the makeup, the editing can all conspire to make you look like the worst actor ever.
100%. Yeah.
And we have less variables when we're doing voice. It's like editing can still ruin a performance for sure. Mm-hmm. You can be directed into a bit of a pickle.
Mm-hmm. As far as like the difference between on-set and voice acting, is it difficult not having somebody to play off of when you're doing the voice acting recording?
No, we had Carl.
We got Carl. That's the world. That's the world. You got ADR and then you have prelay world. So we do get those chances in voice where we work with full cast, like a radio show. But everything, in ADR is that one thing. So you get used to working as a single actor and just doing your lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember too, is when you're recording an ADR show, you're putting characters in, like laying bricks, like piece by piece. So all of character A's lines, all of character B's lines. So
sometimes you get to hear the other actor. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you're late in the process, you're hearing all the other lines and you are able to play off the other actors.
We can.
So that's
it's nice when you're in that slot where because then you can gauge the performance as to and there's none of like, I came in way too hot compared to what the other guy did or so it's good to hear the other performances as those building blocks go down. So you can gauge the performances.
Now with everything that's changed with the studios, because you can now record at home and stuff, which do y'all prefer, when going back to where you were recording at a studio or recording at home now?
Put up your hand if you prefer going to the studio.
There's an energy, right? You're feeding off the cast. You get to work with each other. There's just so much more to it, and it's great from the home studio. It is a bit of a double-edged sword, but
there's a technical side to that too. Just from my point of view, and certainly from the recorder's point of view, regardless of how good equipment the actors have at home. Every environment's going to sound different. So if you have to put together an ADR show with a bunch of different environments, it might sound disjointed. Whereas when we record in the studio, they're all on the same mic, same room.
Yeah.
So it's going to sound more uniform. Whereas
that would
even
be
if you have a
difference.
It's a huge difference. I mean, the place where I work primarily, there's essentially 2 main record rooms, kind of 3, and it's better now, but there's a certain point where if we're working on a show, and scheduling. They wanted to sort of move us to the other room. We didn't do it in the middle of a character's record because it would sound different, just a little bit different, even though it's the same microphone, probably the same preamp, but just the different size room, you could hear it, and it was just they didn't want to have to do that, have to compromise it. And so I think that's the problem with the home environment, is dealing with the variables and the different tonalities.
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, I know, because why would you? Exactly. Until you're the mixer trying to put it all together and tearing their hair out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's certain shows that you're doing. I mean, usually anything Marvel or any of that stuff. There's just, but since the COVID wall hit, I've actually had a chance to record a couple of stuff I've done through Marvel, where I actually record from my home studio, and that is sacrilege in their world for the best most studios for that part.
People are accepting it a lot more, but I can't even imagine the post, like you say, Carl, on that.
Well, I tell you, I can hear it. Like when I watch shows, and oftentimes there'll be a celebrity. They get somebody to record a guest character, and oftentimes you can tell they were done in a different. They were done at home or across around the world, and
there's an art to getting that blend proper afterwards, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because I have gone to school for video editing, and I can actually see that now doing the sounds, because it's like if you do something outside to inside, there's a big difference.
Oh yeah. And the microphone, even just the type of microphone, the preamp,
how far away
and the room,
the mic. Like,
it's huge. Yeah.
Even if you're just, you sit down for one episode and you're in a different spot, somebody on the client end will notice something is different.
Yeah.
That's cool. That'd be kind of hard to work with.
It can be. Yeah.
I would think so.
I'm glad I'm not in that final process.
For you guys, I know you guys have a show this weekend. We were talking about. Where is that? When is that?
On Instagram.
Okay, you're the best.
I'm not the best.
Yeah,
you are. Well, she just so eloquently gets it out.
I just am very chatty. But we're going to do this on Instagram Live. So we have an account, which is anime.time.machine, because there is an anime time machine already, but they're not doing anything. So they hadn't posted in a couple of years. So we went ahead and used anime.time.machine. And it's Instagram Live, and it's on Sunday, this Sunday, December 4th. It starts at 11 a.m. It's with Streamily, and it starts at 11 a.m. PST, which is Texas time. What's that?
Central.
Central, Central.
1 p.m. and 2 p.m. on the East Coast. And we've got some people all around the world that are planning on joining us at midnight their time or 2 in the morning their time, which is so cool. And on Streamily, we have our own little collection, and we so people can purchase the print or the Funko Pop or whatever, and then we can sign it live, hopefully with them watching.
Oh, very cool.
Instagram Live on Sunday. Yeah, we're so excited.
Fun. How long is it?
Remains to be seen.
We were thinking of going 11 to 12, and then having our pizza come at 12:05, and then getting back on at about 1 o'clock and going for however long people are into it.
It sounds like a big old party. So it's going to be you three.
And yeah, it's the three of us. We're all squished at a table together in one frame. So that'll be really fun.
That could be fun.
I have come up with a bit of a game so Kenny Wong, who's also a voice actor and an amazing engineer, he's going to be in the room with us, squished in another corner. And I was like, I was thinking, what do we do? Oh, what if somebody buys something while we're on live, and then I have a pile of cue cards with awkward questions. And if you buy something online, Kenny picks out an awkward question and asks one of us.
Oh,
I know, because Carl's gonna be the one who suffers the most. I just know it.
Wow.
I'm trying to come up with little games that'll make it more fun.
oh, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
They're throwing you under the bus already, Carl.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, this is my first, toe in the water. This here is my first time doing anything like this, to be honest.
What? Congratulations, Carl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Carl is like he's the gold standard. People once they know what you've done, who you are, and how much like wisdom you have to share, you're gonna have to beat them off with a stick.
Mhm.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
You've done quite a bit, actually.
It's pretty impressive, yeah.
It is frightening when you get right down to
There's
it.
been a lot of shows over the years, yeah.
One or two.
Well, and a lot of shows with you guys too. I was just looking through,
I
trying
know.
to see, and I was sort of going through, listen, cross-referencing. It's like, oh my god, I forgot that you were on that, and we did that. And
Well, the cool thing is that we've danced in Prelay and the ADR world. So it's pretty fast.
So
Well, I've noticed that usually that would actually be kind of cool to have a producer or director go to a convention,
I think
because you can learn a lot from them, especially on panels.
Yeah, they do have directors, come to some conventions.
Yeah, John
So-
Swayze. I've seen him out on the road a few times, and I love John. He's a great guy, and got lots of stories as not only a voice actor but the director. And I think anyone that has a chance to pick the brain of one of these guys or gals is really going to have some interesting stuff thrown back at them, because
I think I would only want to do it if there were say you two to flank me, and
Yeah.
you'd be happy to, my friend.
Felix, so how do people find you guys online if they want to learn more about it?
Well, Instagram, anime.time.machine, and we all have our own accounts on Instagram, and a couple of us are on TikTok.
I know you're on TikTok. Brian,
Yeah.
Say it
Brian,
again? Sorry, she gave me that.
you're on TikTok too, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Sweet.
yeah.
I got my Tik, my Instagram, my Twitter. Absolutely. Brian Dobson _BL.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not.
Brian to Toronto. Are you going to Toronto, Brian?
Am I?
Yeah.
Not anytime soon, I don't think.
Loves Darkness says you are.
Yeah.
You have to be. You're gonna have to take us with you. I think Anime Time Machine, the concept is really like us being able to enjoy celebrating all the anime that we've done and are doing, and other prelay as well, I guess, but also to integrate the rest of our community, because we know all these actors that are playing all these roles that worked with us since the 90s, and we want to be able to pop them in the time machine with us, and
share some of these stories. And
a panel a panel that's led by Carl would be the most fun. It would be so cool.
I don't know about led by.
Well, featuring.
I always like the behind the scenes and learning about the inside jokes and the little, things. I love stuff like that.
Hey Brian, I was curious. What was your favorite project that you worked on for Transformers?
Because we did the Armada, and I was on Cybertron as well. And it was, talk about a turnover, because I would go from an American to a British man. Right, red alert, transform to red alert, transform. It was interesting after finishing the first season of that, getting into Cybertron, because the fans had so much to say about what the heck is this, and I don't know what the deal was with the producers as to why they decided to turn a lot of those roles British, but I was glad to keep my toe in the arena and hold my character at least. So that was. But it was a great experience. I really, really enjoyed that series, actually, and man, that brings back memories.
Well, now I got to ask you a question. with all these memes with Skeletor going around, do you actually read those in the Skeletor voice, or you try to do that in your own voice when you're reading those?
Oh, hilarious. And you know what? 'Cause a lot of people said stuff too in their version of Skeletor, and I've heard some amazing. It's funny. Last night, this guy sent me this thing, and it's one of the best actual impersonations of Alan Oppenheimer I've ever heard. It was incredible. It was close your eyes and you're listening to the original Skeletor. But and I'm sorry, what was the question now? Because I've gone and deferred off of that.
You actually read them in your voice.
In your voice. Do you read them in your voice?
Oh,
or
do I read
them
them
in
in my voice?
Skeletor's?
Oh, there's so much that actually sometimes I decide to kind of lay down in Skeletor's vocal line just to for comic relief for the best part. It's and I still get people asking if I could lay down full messages for them. So it's he's alive and well.
Cool. So do you guys have any projects coming up that you'd like to let us know about, or staying status quo, or what's going on?
Able to tell us?
Yeah, usually that's, well, for me anyway, that's like they don't want us to talk about them ahead of time. Let the the clients have control of it.
Anybody?
Yeah.
We won't. We're just live.
Yeah, right.
I know there's a couple we're allowed to talk about, but there are things we're not. We're NDA'd on. I know I've got another little boy character on World Trigger, so they've got a season coming out. And Brian, you have what
World
else?
Trigger and
World Trigger
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, yeah.
Very cool.
It is, there's some stuff in the making, and so it's and it's always exciting, and then you got to sit around and bite your lip for a while until it's actually free and clear to talk about. But indeed, yes, there's some stuff in the making, and we're pretty excited to get things known, shall we say.
So what's your next Comic-Con after the Sunday thing?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I know that there's something maybe coming up in January for me like that, but I haven't got any confirmed details yet, so I'm not going to throw anything out yet. But
how can people find out where you guys are going to be? Like, do you guys have a website, or just post on your Instas, or what?
We'll put it on social media for sure.
Absolutely. Anything coming up will definitely get put down. Sass and I have Saffron we've gone through the last two cons together, and then having a rather good time in doing so. So obviously you enjoy touring with.
And that's where we got to see you guys.
Yes.
Big time, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I really missed you. When I said you guys are coming on, I'm like, yay.
I know. How's your knee, CJ?
It's my ankles.
Your ankles. Sorry.
I broke one. Actually sprained the one twice. So I've tossed those. So I'm on my own 2 feet now.
Hey.
I'm a girl, no strings attached. So it's all good.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Excellent.
I'm glad.
Yeah, you need to come to Toronto.
I know. I need to meet you. Yep.
Anime fanboys asked this question a couple times. Were you nervous being on set with Kevin Spacey, Saffron?
No, I was uncomfortable. We'll leave it at that.
That'll work.
I thought it was just me. I honestly thought it was just me. I mean, the situation was a bit dumb, but he, as an energy, was uncomfortable in his own skin.
Oh, shame.
Whether he was actually shooting or just being there, like his energy was definitely uncomfortable. Then I thought it might be the character, because the character was weird.
Yeah, it's too bad. He's a talented guy, but
yeah.
So something to look forward to. You have your thing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you doing a signing?
I'm doing a book signing tomorrow, and Lizzie's going to be there at Second and Charles in Conroe, actually.
So where is that? It's in Conroe.
In Conroe, where y'all two were at. Well, I'm at Second and Charles.
Is it a bookstore, or is it like a convention center? Or
it's a bookstore, comic book.
Cool.
They sell everything.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, excellent.
And Lizzie will be there as a cosplay guest.
Nice.
Yay. I know we have Comic-Cons coming up. I know Terror Fest is the 17th and 18th in Conroe. And then what's the one you guys are going to, Greg?
We're going to Go Games 360 in, I'm going to say Austin, but it's like Cedar Park area.
Mm-hmm. And when is that?
The 16th, 17th, and 18th. And then we have Waifu Fest over New Year's.
Down
And
in-
then the weekend after that, we will be in New Orleans at Fan Expo.
Wow.
That's
It's
fantastic.
busy.
happened.
I keep myself pretty busy.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Mhm.
Off to New Orleans. Yes, I want to do a con in New Orleans.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Never
Yeah,
did.
that could be fun.
Yeah.
No kidding.
We go all over. So
Yeah.
It is the spice of life. That's,
Yes.
you know.
Meeting new people, checking out new cultures, that's always a treat.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we have a few that we can't mention yet as well.
Okay. A couple of soon to be
We're in the
surprises.
same boat. Yep.
I know, right? I love the NDAs.
Bite the tongue, bite the tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
But I have found out that there is a couple of new conventions coming to the Houston area. One is a horror film convention.
Oh,
I love that stuff.
Oh, what is it? Days of the Dead, I think it's called.
Okay. Yeah.
here.
And there's actually a new gaming convention coming to Houston
Oh, really?
Gaming Expo. And
Okay.
they are going to have esports there, and it's actually going to be at the big convention center in Houston, and they haven't had one there. This will be their first one to be at the George R. Brown Convention Center.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah, looking forward to that. One of my goals is I'm a brain tumor survivor, and what helped me during recovery was playing video games, because when they took the tumor out, I had to learn everything over again because the tumor was right there where the brainstem was. So that controlled everything. And one thing that helped me was the Sega Genesis controller, because it was a big fat controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holding that really helped me, regain my hand-eye coordination and me regain confidence. So that's one of my goals, is to share my survivor story.
What an incredible story. Like, wow.
Yeah. Good for you.
Mhm. I think we all have our stories, and that's her big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
that's a big
definitely want
one.
to get
It's
that
true,
out.
It's so true. We all have our thing, but
Yeah.
And where's the graduation ceremony at?
yeah, exactly. Where are you graduating?
Yeah.
Surprise.
If it's in Maine, I ain't going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know
Is
Greg.
it somewhere warm and sunny?
Yeah,
Oh, warm and sunny.
I was born and raised in Houston.
We're
There you
still
go.
in Dixon for a reason. So yeah.
So this gaming convention that's coming up too, will they have VAs there as well, or is this what kind of format are they kind of making it under?
They're going to try to get some gaming voices there.
Yeah.
So I can say that. That's about all I can say with that.
Okay.
Because I'm in talks with them with some others.
That's awesome. Well, if they'd
That's
like Gabriel Angelos along, I'd love to join.
Oh,
The old war,
We-
any Dawn of War fans out there?
I had a crush on her.
we can talk about that.
Okay.
I have some game roles, but a lot of them are called additional voices.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I did play. Yeah, I've played some interesting ones down when I was in LA. There were some cool games, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the ADR roles that we record wind up turning into games, and we don't even have to go in the studio. They just use our dialogue sometimes.
Sometimes.
One
they do.
of y'all was in EverQuest. Who was in EverQuest? There we go.
It was. I did that one a bunch of time, and Saints Row, which was embarrassing. And The Punisher.
Oh yes.
And I think I was Black Widow. Does that make sense? Black Widow and The Punisher. Does that make
Yes,
That
it's
would make
Marvel.
sense.
I was
It's
Black.
Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Brian, I think you were in Warhammer.
Yeah, Warhammer. Well, Gabriel Angelos and a bunch of other stuff, and most of the orcs and the orc war bosses. And I've done I can't count how many video games I've done over the years. Countless of campaigns of different stuff. A lot of Plants vs Zombies, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, lots of stuff through EA.
See, I do my research.
Yes, good. Gabriel, that's another one. Like he comes close to Majin Buu as far as the vocal frappuccino things goes too, because it was just constantly screaming across 3 footballs fields for the Imperium and
Yeah, I bet.
or the Emperor. But yeah,
We've
Lucy
actually
had a
done.
question. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, it's just reminding me that there's been only a couple times I can remember, but there have been video games done in Japanese that we've dubbed that are related to anime. Like there was the
Nice.
Inuyasha one, I remember, and then LBX was another one a little more recently, I think. I remember the Inuyasha one had a lot of dialogue. It was a lot of work.
Right.
But it's hard because you're dubbing and you have to fit existing sound files, and it was just a lot of sort of fussy work.
So
That would be hard with the programming.
Yeah, it's tricky. If rather than just doing something new, they had to fit it into the old mold, so the lines had to be just the right length.
Ooh, yeah.
And did you actually see like lip flaps for that, or were they much more general as far as the actual animation?
It depends on which. No, but there'd be some cut scenes, and they would. There could be lip flaps in the cut scenes.
Right.
Depends, yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just sort of change it so it looks good. You have to actually come in that.
I will say, actually, the one that
good for wallet.
Doing the Inuyasha game, I remember one of my favorite moment from that was Richard Cox playing Inuyasha, and he had a line that he delivered with great gusto, and the line was, "I'm going to go for a leisurely walk," and that was it.
Oh, that just reminds me of Don Brown's wallet.
Yeah.
Lizzie, go ahead.
What?
You had a question.
Lizzie.
No.
I could have sworn I heard.
No, I was just remembering. And I was just remembering. Have you ever had to record for like a video game and they had to like later take it out because it either didn't sound appropriate or it was like or anything like that?
I'm trying to think, but I think everything stayed in so far. I mean, we've had some changes with some of the cartoons that we've done over the years where they've gone ahead and changed their voices. But it's video games. I'm trying to think. Can you think of anything, Saf?
Well, the first video game I did was Need for Speed. EA. I don't think I'm still in there, but I don't know. I might still be in there. And it's just, they paid me quite well. And then I went to look for myself and I couldn't find me. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Are you the download?
Yeah.
Your download content.
Yeah.
That's happened with a couple shows too. Actually, I just realized a little while ago, I don't know if you two know this, because you were both in the Asterix and Obelix film, the first one.
Yeah.
Right? Probably both. But
We did not do anything to my impedimenta.
I don't know, but I was aware that they had done we had dubbed the French one. And it was a fantastic job, by the way. It worked really well, that whole thing. But I guess there was since a British version done. But I just assumed they replaced everybody, but they didn't. They replaced some of the characters with British actors, and some pretty well-known British actors.
Oh, they needed to attach a name to the project.
Yeah, but there's some pretty cool names, I gotta say. If I'm gonna, I saw Matt Berry was one of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but not all. I remember hearing Sam Vincent in there, and there were still some of the voices. I just saw a snippet of it. Because I think when we did that one, I really enjoyed it. So I rushed out. Like, oh man, I got to get this. And when it came out on Blu-ray, I think I bought it. And then I saw a day later, oh, it's on Netflix. Okay, didn't need to do that. But now I have the original version, the original English version. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do want to thank y'all for coming on the show tonight.
Definitely.
It's been an honor having
you.
y'all on here. And since I think you said this was like your first show to be on. So thank you, Carl.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it easy.
Have an awesome time on Sunday.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely
thank
have an awesome time. And I did share the link in YouTube and on Facebook so people can go to join.
Oh, that's
Very,
wonderful.
very cool.
Yeah, I'll share it on my TikTok.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And I think, Saffron, you said if you actually get to 1,000 people on TikTok that you're going to start doing some voice,
Some live.
some lives, and you're going to be doing like, I don't want to say maybe teachings.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do teach voiceover a little bit. So I thought it would be neat to be on lives and talk to people that are getting into voice acting, talk to people that are doing voice acting and just check in, you know. I thought that would be a fun thing to share.
Mhm.
But I also, what else did I put on there? Talking about how being a bad housekeeper. I just want to normalize that. That's another thing I'd like to do on a live.
Yeah, you should see my bedroom. You should come clean my room.
You know how to alleviate you know how to alleviate that, right? You have a group of OCD people come over for just a and let them have at the house.
Have at it.
Whoa.
Make
Okay.
it happen.
Yeah.
I think that's a good plan.
But they might reorganize everything too, so be
That's
careful.
fine.
Right. Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. Thank you. This is a great idea.
I think I can use that.
Put
Yeah.
that on the live. We'll do
Another
that.
thing you can do is, you know, if you have people over and your house isn't 100%, get well cards and put them on your mantle, so people think that you've been particularly well.
So the
Yes.
commissioners are going to be shown.
I saw that earlier. That's awesome.
Oh, I love that. I know that's a great piece.
That one and my Gabriel.
Oh,
These are the-
Brian,
the
did
newer
you get all of our art?
Yeah, I could show everybody's art if you like.
Oh no, you don't need to do that, but I'm just glad it all came.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very cool.
those are so
Sweet.
neat. Yeah.
These are,
It's
those are two
exciting.
of the fresher ones off the press. I'm pretty excited about.
Very cool.
They all turned out amazing. I got our Streamly package yesterday, so
Ooh.
Just in time.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
But again, thank y'all for being on, and we look forward to talking to y'all again. And hopefully, we'll be able to see y'all on Sunday if we get
Yeah.
a chance
Great.
to get on there.
That'd be
Yeah.
excellent.
Fun. We would love
Yeah.
that. Please chime in and
Absolutely.
say hi if you're there.
Definitely.
absolutely, yeah, chime up.
Everyone, our next show will be Tuesday, 11 a.m., one of our last Tuesday shows. And we had Marcus Malden scheduled for the 8th, but he had some work come up, and we are working on rescheduling him. So, everyone, we will talk to you later.